Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well today. So for this video, I'm going to be going more in depth into a problem that has really been an issue for a long time in Pokemon and in any online buying and selling type auction forum. Which is the problem of shill bidding, but has really increasingly become more of an issue very recently. And there are various things going on and reasons for why the shill bidding is happening. And certainly there's going to be speculation on my part in this video, but I'm going to try and go over the reasons why I think the shill bidding is happening, the different places where the shill bidding seems to be coming from. I'm going to talk to you guys about the different types of shill bidding that people do, and I'm going to talk about a few ways that you can try and help protect yourself from shill bidding and getting really hurt by shill bidding, because you can, you know, way overspend on items due to shill bidding, or have a very or really misunderstand the value of your items because of shill bidding. So for those who don't know, shill bidding, the two major types of shill bidding, I would say, are what I would call defensive shill bidding and bidding on your own item, offensive or bidding on your own item shill bidding. So defensive shill bidding what I mean by defensive shill bidding is when people bid on items that they don't own, that a friend of theirs doesn't own, and they bid on the item not because they want to win the item, but they bid on the item because they want to raise the price of the item because they have that item in their collection. And they either want to sell that item at, right away, and so they want the auction, they want the item, the same duplicate item, to go for a very high auction price, so it'll be easier for them to sell, or they may want to sell that item somewhere down the line, and so they want to artificially inflate and hold up the appearance of value in that item when that item isn't what it would have gone for without their shill bidding in that auction. And so I would guess that this is probably the most common form of shill bidding if I had to speculate. I think a lot of people do this. I've had a number of people contact me who wouldn't do other types of shill bidding but have done this type of shill bidding. It tends to be more covert. I know people who do this type of shill bidding quite a bit, and then if they by mistake win the item, they will actually pay for the item. However, a lot of people who do this defensive shill bidding, when they by accidentally win the item because someone doesn't then come over the top, they'll make up some excuse to the buyer and get out of paying for the item, or they will just not respond at all to the seller's attempts at getting them to pay for the item. So it's a really unfortunate thing. We're seeing lots and lots of examples of this, and we always have seen, of course, examples of this, but it's really been increased recently. We're seeing it a lot in the PWCC auctions. We're seeing it a lot in different sort of high-profile auctions from different sellers, like TCA Gaming recently had some. SM Pratt recently auctioned off some items, and he's relisted a lot of those because they weren't paid for. So we're seeing this a lot. And very likely, very likely, it's because of this defensive shill bidding that's causing that. Now, is it possible there's other shenanigans going on and there are other types of shill bidding going on these items as well? It is possible. And so we're going to get into that, okay? So the next type of shill bidding is bidding on your own item or a friend's item to try and get the price high so that you'll make more money off of it. And obviously, I think the first one is not good and hurts the market, and I'm going to talk more about why I think defensive shill bidding isn't a good thing, particularly if it's really rampant and lots of people are doing it. I think it creates a lot of instability and chaos in the market, and it's not good. And but bidding on your own item so that you can force someone to pay higher is, stealing, basically. You're defrauding people, basically, out of their money directly so that you directly get more money. And I would say the defensive shill bidding is fraudulent too and creates fraud, and you're forcing people to pay higher so that you can sell your cards maybe down the line for more. I think that that's problematic ethically too. But this is even more obviously problematic, and it certainly happens, and people certainly do this. And there have been a number of people within the Pokemon community who get called on these types of scams. There's another thing that can happen where it's not exactly shill bidding, but it's buying an item, fake buying an item publicly on eBay so that it posts the sale, and then you don't actually pay for the item, or you actually owned the item, and so it just records that sale, and then and then basically you list the same card or another similar card at a higher rate, and then you point to that sale and say, well, it just sold for that high amount, so this is a good price now, and people should pay it. And I'm seeing a lot of people falling for this right now, either falling or frankly trying to manipulate people themselves into paying some of these higher prices. They'll see a ridiculously high price and then they'll say that's the new price for something, instead of questioning like maybe that item wasn't actually bought and paid for. And so the main thing that I would say to protect yourself is caution. It's very difficult in this type of environment to determine where is the shill bidding and what are the real buys, because there's a lot of chaos in the prices. There's a lot of, it's been such dramatic increases that I'm sure have in part been caused by shill bidding and manipulation of the market up. I'm sure people have taken advantage of that interest, but it's also been caused by a lot of genuine new interest and a huge amount of influencers, and influencers opening, booster boxes and booster packs on streams and making, selling them for huge amounts and paying $40,000, $50,000 for a booster box that if they had been more patient, they probably could have gotten for like 30 or 25. So you're seeing these like genuine sales that are dramatic leaps in price that are not shill bid. So that's happening too. So it's very difficult to determine. Under a normal established market, it would be much easier to determine where the shill bid items are, because it would be like, well, it's completely irrational that this item that sat completely calmly or within this price range, like in one day, doubles or triples, unless there was some sort of, market manipulation afoot, at least a buyout of some sort, or some sort of coordinated buyout to move up the prices and these sorts of things. So, but that is one thing. The one thing you should look for is prices going for oddly high amounts, okay, to protect yourself from these types of shill bidding. The next thing that you want to look for, if you're on eBay, is you want to click on the bids button to see who is bid on the item, and then you can click on, depending on what type of shill bidding you think happened here. So you're going to want to check the winner if you think it's like a bidding on your own item or winning your own item to set a new price, to check to see what's going on there. Or you want to check, generally you want to check the person who came in second and possibly bid the item up and forced the highest payer, the one who actually bought the item, to pay more. And so when you check on that bid button, click on that big button, you can see how many items they've retracted, they haven't paid for, how many bids they've retracted. You can see, and the most important things to look for is how many times this person has bid on items and how many times this person has bid on items that this specific seller has been selling. So if there are a lot of bids that this account has on eBay and they're all from this one, they're all on product just from this one seller, and they tend not to win and they come in second a lot, and you track these sorts of patterns, and I've seen these patterns and tracked these sorts of things myself, you can get a sense of you can be fairly confident that they are show bidding, and that they're either a fake account that this seller has made to try and get the most out of each of his sales, or it's a friend, or someone working with them. So those are I think that the best advice right now is to do that legwork, know the prices, know the history of these cars, how much they were going for, and be very suspicious, honestly, of people who are claiming that this is what this goes for, and claiming these new high prices all the time, and saying this is way under what it should be. A lot of the stuff that's been happening in Pokemon, I think, is connected to this, and I think that there is a fair amount of intentional, coordinated manipulating going on, and so you just have to be really careful, and that's the best you can do. It's and I guess I'll end with why this is so terrible, is that. And something I've been talking about on the channel for a while, is that it really erodes the confidence that people have in the market. It makes it so that these items become a lot less liquid, very illiquid, because now sellers aren't selling their items because they're constantly being shill bid, and then they have to relist them, and then people who are buying the items or might want to buy the items are fearing and feeling anxious that I might be paying more than I should be, or I might be being shill bid out of this. And so for all of you shill bidders out there and people who are engaging in this sort of thing, I would ask you to think carefully about the damage, the confidence damage that it can do over time to the market, particularly if a lot of people do it. It really can erode, people can have these like really bad experiences, and it can really affect the confidence they have in buying again. And what a healthy market looks for is liquidity, and that things are sold, and they're sold for stable prices and established prices over time. And so right now we're in a very unhealthy market because prices are going all over the place. There's shill bidding, there's fraud, there's manipulation, there's all these things going on. And so I think that's to be expected and is part of any type of mania. And there is mania in Pokemon right now, and we're experiencing that with all the influencers and all this attention, and it's going to bring people into the space who honestly were attracted to crypto and other sorts of areas who are looking to sort of make short-term gains and kind of really cheat you and defraud you out of your money, even though you just want to collect and enjoy this hobby and buy things that you think that the prices might hold, at least in the future. And so that's kind of why I really preach caution on this channel. And you got to stick within your budget. If you buy a shill bidded item, it's not the end of the world if you really want that item, if you're really happy with it, and if you can really afford it. And so that's another good way to protect yourself, because I want everyone to be buying cards and enjoying the hobby, and for the hobby to be stable. I think the good news is that things will calm down. When these things stop working as much, and when people stop hyping the cards up as much, and when prices sort of settle and calm down, and you don't have just like tons of channels and tons of influencers talking about how much money you can make all the time, more reasonable, fair prices will be established for these items over time that people feel very confident in. And when you get people who are in the hobby for a long time, they're not going to be fooled as easily by these sorts of tactics that people use. And all of that will help create a long-term established market where I think that over time, prices on these things will go up, in a healthy way, because they will become older. They'll become historic and just kind of more and more sentimental and valuable to people who grew up with it in their childhood. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. I will be doing a normal live stream tomorrow, so look forward to answering your guys' questions there. But just with all of the increased shill bidding, I thought it'd be good to make a video and put a lot of this stuff in one place. So thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.